Identity politics.
To any black woman that is running for any type of political power in the United States of America, this is going to sound unfair and it's going to sound unjust, but you have to be absolutely perfect to win any type of election anywhere in this country. You have to be perfect. You can't have a pass. You can't make a mistake. You're not allowed to ever make a mistake. You have to be perfect. And that's what I saw with the whole Jasmine Crockett thing and Kamala Harris 2 years ago.
It's not that they had to be perfect. It's just Jasmine Crockett and Kamala Harris are losers. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cashapp or buying your girl a coffee. If you guys didn't know, Jasmine Crockett lost her race against, what is his name? James Tallarico? I don't know these people. I don't live in Texas. This whole situation really highlights a problem that I really want us to get under control, especially if we're trying to move towards a society where we actually fix problems rather than kicking the can down the road. The problem you run into is that rather than taking a look at the campaign, rather than taking a look at the policy, rather than taking a look at the approach, everyone that is caping for Jasmine Crockett is saying she lost because she was a black woman. I'm sorry, but being a black woman, that has nothing to do with policy. Black women have held office before, and we currently hold offices. So it is so silly to get out here and say, hey, it's just because I'm a black woman. It shows that you have no desire to look at what you did, how you presented yourself, the policies you put forth, and be accountable for that and adjust. And that is one of the things that we really need from our lawmakers. We need them to be able to see how we feel about things and adjust. If your constituents did not vote for you and you're first to well, you're just racist, then that means you're not willing to listen to what your constituents want. That means you want to be able to just tell them, this is what you gonna get, and you gonna be happy with it because you got it from a black woman. That is essentially what you're saying to your constituents when you say, well, you didn't vote for me because I'm black. As if they don't have any other grievance, as if they don't have any other reason, as if you are perfect, as if you are a gift from God to everybody. How dare we see any faults in anything you've ever done? It shows no accountability. It shows no desire to reflect upon oneself. And that is something that we desperately need from lawmakers. We need them to reflect. We need them to consider what it is that we want, because the problem is we have too many lawmakers that don't give a damn what we think. They don't give a damn what we want. So when we don't vote for them, they say it's a us problem. They say it's our problem that we didn't vote for them. As opposed to, you ran on something that we didn't care about. The policies that you want to put in place are going to screw me. The policies that you put in place are going to make my life difficult. No, none of that. They don't want to think about any of that. No, it's, well, you guys should have just voted for me, or you're just racist or sexist or phobic or this or that. Absolutely nothing that has to do with policy. Y'all, I am so sick of this damn identity politics, and I am so tired of black people playing into it. And before y'all get out there in the comments, thumb thugging, you always talk about black. I am black. Damn it. I'm a black woman. So yes, I'm going to talk about being blackity black because that's who I am. That's my identity. And so when people rocking my identity are out here being stupid, understand you make the whole identity look dumb. So yes, I will be talking about this from the perspective of a black woman on the black community, because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of us being stupid. Why the hell are we voting based on identity? I don't give a good goddamn what race that person is. What policy are they putting forth? Because that's what you're voting in. You're not voting in for the aesthetic of a black person sitting in that seat. You're voting in for people to enact change to make your life easier. Now, if that person is spending all their time caping for illegal aliens, understand they're not going to do anything for your black ass. Jasmine Crockett cares about illegals. She does not give a damn about you as a black American. She doesn't care. You are not a factor in her mindset. You're not a factor in her policy. She cares about illegals.
Jasmine Crockett's loss for the Texas Senate race last night taught the Democrats a really, really important lesson. And hopefully they'll listen.
Mustard on a beat, broke deep, boat in rap. He a freak, though, man down. Call the ambulance, tell him breathe. Let them boys to the cross, they walk around like G's. What's up with these?
I think last night's loss taught the Democrats that we are tired of the antics. We are tired of Democrats using hip hop to pander to us. We are tired of Democrats pointing the finger at Republicans, but not actually telling us what they plan to do differently. We are tired of Democrats being loud, but not offering any loud solutions. Democrats have got to focus on the things that are important to not just super leftists, because you know the super leftist people, they're going to always vote Democrat no matter what. You need to focus on the things that are going to pull in someone like me, who is a liberal, but I'm more right here on the liberal scale, okay? Not in the middle, because I'm never going to vote Republican, but I'm also going to choose the liberal that talks about the things that I care about. One of the things that I mostly care about is the economy. I am not a happy camper when my pockets aren't looking right.
What would the benefit be for you as a Black American to vote for Jasmine Crockett outside of, we got a Black woman in office? What you gonna do with that? Is a Black woman in office gonna pay your bills? Is a Black woman in office gonna lower your taxes? When we already know the Democrats love to raise your taxes. Let's be so for real here. Y'all need to stop voting based on what the person looks like or what isms they have or whatever the hell. Stop voting for that. Vote for people that have policies that are going to benefit you. I'm telling you, if the whitest of white people were to run on a ticket and they were saying everything that I'm saying about policy, things that we need to do, they could be running against the blackest Black person. I will vote for that white person simply because the policy is what's going to affect my life, not the fact that a Black face is there. They got y'all all messed up to think that representation is everything. As if people who look like you can be poor representation of the policies that you need to make your life better. That's why y'all get fooled every single time, because all they gotta do is put a Black face in front of you, do a little chitlin circuit, yapping, and then boom, y'all will throw money, y'all will throw votes, all for them to rob you blind. How many times you guys see this with these mayors, these Black mayors that get elected over primarily Black cities, Black towns, and then they run up the check and then they demand that you pay more in taxes. Be so for real here. Stop voting because they're Black. Stop voting because they're a woman. And stop allowing them to deflect to, well, you're just not because I'm a woman. You're just not because I'm a Black. No, it's because your policies suck. Your policies are gonna make my life harder. So no, the hell I'm not gonna vote for you because you're Black. What policy are you enacting? And how is that going to affect my life?
So Jasmine Crockett lost the Democratic primary election last night, and I can't say that I am surprised. I made a video last year. I was outside in the sunshine talking about how problematic Jasmine Crockett was. Not because she was a woman, not because she was a Black woman, but it was her methods, right? I saw the flaws, right? And it led to her losing the election. You can't cry racism. You can't do that. Not in this instance. You can't cry misogyny. You can't do that, right? You lost, you being Jasmine Crockett, you lost because your methods did not work. Yeah, you had the viral moment talking about the woman's body. Yeah, you tried all the antics of dancing. You tried all the antics of constantly calling out President Trump, especially out of his name. It was problematic.
And see, this is the problem. This is why I can't stand a lot of Black folks, because we look at surface level bullshit. It's just like when you go to the hood and you see a bunch of folks walking around with Jordans, they got the latest iPhone, but they're poor. Y'all want to look like you got some money rather than actually having some money. It's all about the aesthetic when it comes to the Black community. We want it to look good rather than to make sure it is good. And we see that in our voting style. Y'all want to vote for what looks good, a Black person sitting in that seat, rather than the best person for the job, the person that has your best interest at heart. Because the visual of a Black person sitting there isn't gonna do anything for your poor Black ass. It's not. And the moment we realize that, the moment we start voting for our interests, our actual interests, voting for things that are going to make our lives better, until we do that, we will be in a perpetual state of dysfunction. We will be in a perpetual state of being poor and stupid.
You know what, Democrats? Y'all all right with me today. Because y'all got Jasmine the fuck up out of there. The fuck up out of there. This is the same woman who stood 10 toes down and said the reason why people don't like DEI is because they're scared that they can't keep promoting simple-minded, underqualified white men instead of the qualified Black woman on the other side. That was the energy. But you lost to a white man that your own party voted for. But now we crying cheating. You know, so when you win, it's historic. When you lose, it's oppression. When you talk reckless, it's empowerment. When somebody calls your ass out, it's racism. When your own party doesn't even pick you, it's the Republicans' fault. Cool. There it is. Man, if you don't knock it off, you didn't lose to the GOP, you lost to somebody in your own damn house. That's not a conspiracy, that's a performance review. So let's write some notes. The same hood persona, the same fake ratchet viral clip, Twitter war energy, that gets applauses on MSNBS doesn't always translate in Texas when adults are voting. But last night, in front of the cameras, whole different vibe. You were calm, you were polished, you were articulate. So you can turn it off. Interesting. Now look, maybe if that version showed up consistently instead of the audition for Real Housewives of Capitol Hill, folks might have taken you serious. But no, it's always somebody else's fault. The system, the party, the Republicans, Mercury in retrograde, anybody but the woman in the mirror. Your entire brand is calling people simple-minded and underqualified. Don't act shocked when voters decide to evaluate you the same way. So yeah, Democrats, y'all handled y'all shit.
Honestly, I am so glad that heifer did not win. She is a stain. She is one of those bourgeoisie blacks that went to really good schools and then put on a little black scent so she could galvanize the black vote. She does all that sister girl talk, knowing good and damn well that's not who she is. Knowing good and damn well she grew up prim and proper, which is a good thing, by the way. I don't have an issue with black folks growing up prim and proper. I love that for us. But what I hate is when those same prim, proper black folks feel like they have to pander to the lowest denominator of blackness in order to secure their spot as a black person. That's the part I don't like. If you are proper, if you speak proper, if you have a wide vocabulary, if you are everything positive, be that. Be that. It does not make you white to be excellent. And it doesn't mean because you talk with a little accent that that's now black excellence. Stop allowing these bourgeoisie elitist blacks to talk to you crazy, to pander to you, to belittle your intelligence, all for you to give them your vote, your dollars, just so they can go into the office and cape for illegal aliens. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole situation? Were you rooting for her? Were you all rooting for her? Or were you like me, where it's like, that bitch? I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the content, like the content. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.